everyone. Welcome to English Talk. I'm your host, Robin Shaw, and in these podcasts, I hope to give you good information about studying English, learning English, improving your English, and I hope you learn a lot of things from my guest today. And my guest today is Brandon.
Thanks for having me, Robin. How are you doing today?
I'm okay. How are things with you?
I'm doing great, man. Just living life. Teaching, working, having a good time, man.
Okay. So today we're going to talk to Brandon about his experiences teaching in Korea. So we'll learn a lot about how he interacted with his students and tried to get them to not only learn English, but also, I guess,
practice.
Learn a little more about American culture.
Correct.
Usually in Korea, a lot of the schools or private schools, they like Caucasian teachers.
Blonde hair, blue eyes, yep.
And you are not Caucasian, and we'll talk a little bit about that too. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So why don't you tell us about when you first came to Korea?
I first came to Korea, I think it was, 2015? About 2015 when I first came to Korea. In the States, I was working as a scientist, so I was doing that for a bit, and then I wanted a little change, and then I came to Korea. I came with the EPIK Program.
What is the EPIK Program?
EPIK Program it's a government-run program. It's called English Program in Korea, EPIK. And so pretty much it's a government-run program, so they put you into the public schools. So it's like 9 to 5, but you're only teaching 22 hours a week, and they give you housing, decent salary, the pension, health insurance, in a longer vacation and stuff like that.
And were you interviewed by a recruiter in America? Or?
I had a recruiter that I applied through, an agency, an EPIK agency, like authorized recruiter. I applied through them, and then they just helped me with my paperwork, and like the guy helped prep me for my interview. But then I was interviewed by an EPIK interviewer person, and I had my interview, which went really interesting. I thought it went really bad, but I still got the job. Like my webcam didn't work; it went in and out, and the lighting was terrible. But somehow I still
did the
got the
issue of race ever come up prior to coming to Korea? I asked that because when I came to Korea. I had a friend who was not Caucasian, and we had the same interview, but I made it. He didn't.
I think, well, you came earlier. I think, I don't want to phrase this like, I think it was better for me, but I think friends that were Asian had a slightly more difficult time getting the job. So like back then when you probably came, it was probably just like blonde hair, blue eyes. That's what we want. Black guy, no. Asian, no. But then now they're just like, everybody come, Asian guys, Asian girls. And the reason is I have friends that are Asian, like they might be Filipino or Chinese or Japanese, whatever they are, and they look Korean or whatever. The students and the parents think like, even though they are a fluent English speaker, the students go up to them and go, in Korean, they're like, you're Korean? And the person's like, no, I'm Chinese or whatever, I don't speak Korean. So the kids have like a disconnection. They're just like, my teacher's Asian, how do they know English? They're not Korean? I want a foreigner teacher. My teacher's not foreigner, and they are foreigner, but after a while, like, the kids realize.
All right, so EPIK hired you, and
Correct.
they stuck you, not in a city, but they stuck you in rural Korea.
Sangju, yeah.
Sangju?
So, like,
where's Sangju?
Gyeongbuk-do. So with my recruiter, like, everyone wanted Seoul. That's the thing, and I just was like, I don't care about Seoul. And then Busan is actually where I wanted to go, but Busan is actually harder to go to than Seoul.
Why is that?
Busan requires the TEFL course that they require.
TEFL? Okay.
Yeah, it's actually like you need like in person. So mine was like an online class. For Busan public school, you need a in-person hour. So it's actually harder to come than Seoul. Seoul is just first come, first serve. Busan is just, you need to have higher standards. So with me, they said like, oh, Gyeongsangbuk-do, it's cool. I didn't pick Daegu because Daegu and Gyeongsangbuk-do are technically separate. And the guy, the reading I read was like Gyeongsangbukdo. It's many universities and it's a great area. And I'm thinking, I want to learn Korean. I'm gonna go take classes at a Korean university. And then I got put in Sangju, and Sangju is technically bigger than Seoul land-wise.
Land-wise, but
It's 100,000 people.
100,000 people.
Seoul is 10 million people.
So when you first arrived there, what was your initial reaction?
Like in Korea or in
Like in Sangju? Like, oh,
there's people here.
There's people here. It was okay? Like,
I mean, like we did training in Daejeon, so we partied in Daejeon, and then we went to Gumi. My main teacher picked me up. We drove, we talked. She dropped me off my place. I already had friends there from orientation, and then all we did was just like walk around and hang out. But then there really isn't nothing there.
Okay.
Like, there's no movie theater. There's no like really big department store. The Home Plus never opened. Like the bus station is supposed to be like this big department store, but it never opened. So like there's 10 floors of nothing. Like nothing's in there, and the first floor is just the bus station.
Okay.
So yeah, the nearest movie theater is like 20 minutes away in the next city.
Okay, well, 20 minutes is not bad. Okay, anyway, why don't you tell us about entering that classroom for the first time?
Man, I was a bad teacher.
Well,
No, like when I say I was a bad teacher, like the first month was pretty rough. Like
I think everyone has a first
it was
rough
just,
month.
Like, I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I wasn't prepared. I was just chilling. But going into the classroom,
Which age group did you
I was
teach?
teaching elementary school.
Elementary
so
school.
third, fourth, fifth, and sixth.
So when
grade.
they saw you, they must have been like,
Okay, like it's weird. Like Sangju, I don't know. Somehow, I don't know how this happened, but somehow they put all the black people in the same district. Like there was like 10 black people in orientation. They put us all in Gyeongsangbukdo.
by design?
I don't
or-
know. And then
okay.
like 6 of us ended up in like Sangju pretty much. I was just like, it was actually less. I was just like, how did y'all put just all the black people in the countryside? But no, like in Sangju, there was at the English village, there was another South African black guy that was working there. So like all the students for English village have to go in Sangju. All the students in Sangju must go to the English village. at
What
least
is
twice.
what is an English village?
English town is pretty much is like my job is teaching book stuff, but the English town is kind of just like specifics. So the kids will spend a week there, or each city has
It's
one.
provided by the government?
Yeah. So they'll spend like a day learning food stuff, and they'll do food things, and the next day they might do hospitality. It's more like activities and games to some extent to make them learn.
Okay.
So like there's a black guy there. So like the kids all meet this black guy. So they're just like, I met a black guy before, like last year, and he was very nice. So seeing a new black guy, it's not that.
Okay, so they didn't have too much of a shock.
Yeah, like if it's the third grade class, it's like, oh my God, who's this black guy? But like the fourth, fifth, sixth grade classes are like, I met a black guy before.
Okay,
He
so
didn't kill me.
so in the classroom itself, how did you interact well with the kids?
Yeah, I mean, my personality is outgoing, and I had fun. Like my kids were cool. Like, yay, play, high fives, and we did games and stuff. And
Were they eager to learn English?
yes and no. I mean, they're forced to learn it. So it's kind of like the same thing with like us in the States with Spanish. Like I was forced to learn Spanish. I didn't want to learn Spanish. But then for me, like I only learned the past school, and then it's part of my heritage. So I was just like, I need to learn Spanish. But for them, it's just they have to learn Spanish they have to learn English to get into high school. They have to learn English to get into college. But as a public school teacher, the difference between public school and I say Hagwon, which is the private academy, public school teachers, like for elementary school, we don't really care about teaching English. And when I say that, it means we introduce English to make it fun for them. Hey, English is fun. Like we're going to play games. Don't hate English. Like it's fun, because 999%, 90% of them are going to go to private academy. And at private academy, it's terrible. It's just work.
Yeah, they spend a lot of time there.
They spend a lot of time there, so it's just like they're forced to do that, and it's just like book stuff, and it's really not fun. They like grow to hate it. None of them want to go to it pretty much. But so like my class is more just like, hey, English is fun. Like, I know you have to go to do your private academy later, but let's try and have fun. Like today we're gonna have fun with English. So it was kind of like that. Introduce English to them and make them eager to learn, so that in the future they don't dislike it.
You were playing games all day, so it was an easy job.
Yeah, I mean, my general day would be, but depending on whatever classes I teach, I would come in. I would download a warm-up game, a 10-minute warm-up, or 5-minute warm-up game. We'll do the book work, 20-minute book work, whatever the lesson is for that day. So it's either like speaking, listening, reading, and writing, like the 4 lessons for that chapter. And if they're like 5th or 6th grade, it has extra. And then after, we'll play a game. So they warm up, depending on the game, like, I don't know, a crossword puzzle or something. They might do a crossword puzzle. They do the book work when they listen, and they'll practice speech. And then we'll play a role-playing game or a bomb game, which is like Wheel of Fortune or something like that kind of game. And they're like, teams and maybe candy and stuff. But I did play games a lot. It was easy.
Okay. How long were you there in Sangju?
I was in Sangju for 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, and I also did teach at the English town a little bit. I taught adults there for about 1 semester.
Okay.
So once or twice a week for like 4 months.
And do you like teaching?
Yeah, I have no problem teaching. Teaching, it's fun. Like when I moved to Seoul, I taught. There's no problem teaching. I enjoy teaching. There are things with teaching that do frustrate me, but it's nothing that I hate teaching. It's not that like if someone offered me a job to teach, I'm not gonna not take it. The thing I dislike about teaching is that I like the public school system in Korea. I do not like the Hagwon system.
The private school.
The private school system. Like, well, there's private schools, but I mean like private academies. And when I say that, in public school, you are the boss. The teacher is the boss. The government pays for you to be there. So like you work with your co-teacher. If your student's acting up, there are ways to deal with it. Like the Korean education system is a little different than the States. Like you can't really like kick kids out of class kind of thing. But like compared to a Hagwon, the academy, the student is the boss. The student is the boss. And I say that mom and dad is paying your paycheck. So even if that student is a bad student, they're not listening or whatever, if their grades are bad, you get in trouble.
Yeah.
Or even if that kid's not doing their homework and you say, Minju, like, do your homework. If Minju goes to mom and dad and goes, Mom and Dad, Brandon teacher's so mean to me. I don't like Brandon teacher. I hate him. I want to go to a different school. Mom and dad call your boss, and then your boss calls you, and then you get yelled at for not being nice to the kid, and you're just like, the kid was punching a kid, or the kid was doing this, and you're like, well, deal with it, but you have no way to deal with it. So I think I
agree with you.
Yeah, that's my only thing. So like, my profession is different now, but when I came to Seoul, I came as a Hagwon teacher, and my first Hagwon was okay, and I switched. Second Hagwon, the academy was
okay. All right.
Yeah. But I love teaching. Teaching is fine. I still work with kids. My job that I do now, I still work with kids, and I do teach them English and stuff, but not like I teach them like.
Well, I have one last question for you.
Yeah.
What do you think of Koreans' English ability?
It's good to some extent. It's still like, I think Koreans, because they spend so much time studying it, their reading and their writing is very good, but they're very shy. It's like,
well, I know you spent a lot of time in Japan too, so
compared to them,
you got to be careful. What are you comparing Korean English speakers to Japanese English speakers?
Koreans are probably better, I think.
Koreans are better.
And no, I mean, it's still like hit or miss. Like you still have that one outlier person that's going to go. I think like I'll put it this way: no matter what, if you were lost in Korea or lost in whatever country, Japan or whatever, if you were lost and you went up to either of them and you said, "Please help me," they're going to try and help you, and they might be very broken in English and then be left dude. they're gonna try their best to help you. That's the way I want to put it. Like, even if like I was just like, excuse me, where's the hospital? They're gonna like, a Korean's gonna whip out their phone and be like, okay, straight, left, right.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah, better than nothing. So I mean, they try. Their reading, writing is good. People are very shy here, so it's really here is really on reading and writing.
Okay.
So.
All right, man. Thank you for sharing your about
My
your
thoughts.
experiences and
Yeah.
wisdom about teaching in Korea.
I love Korea.
Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you got something out of this video, and see you in the next podcast.